Who knew there was a version of the Lord's Prayer for Beyonce's Mask? Who knew Beyonce had a mask? Not me. I want to close by spending just a couple of minutes on the third anchor. And this is where I'm going to weave in my reflection, my personal reflection on one of the embodied spiritual practices. So the third anchor is to accept discomfort. Accept the discomfort. Notice when it changes instead of running away from it. And as I mentioned earlier, there's a longer, a more cohesive description in the handouts. So accepting discomfort, sitting with it until it changes, is a healing practice. And it's a healthy healing practice. While noticing discomfort and running away from it is an unhealthy practice. Avoiding discomfort is not healthy. So Resmaa Menakem, who I am learning from, describes sitting with the discomfort and moving through it, noticing it and learning from it as clean pain. And he describes running away from discomfort or avoiding discomfort as dirty pain. Running away from discomfort is avoidance, right? Nothing is healed when you avoid it. When we avoid discomfort, when we avoid pain, we enter into a realm of masking and pretending that what's happening isn't happening. And the thing is, all of that moves through our bodies anyway. So clean pain, staying with the discomfort, letting the pain be pain, saying to yourself, you know what, I'm uncomfortable, this doesn't feel good, has a way of metabolizing. It metabolizes it in your body. So eventually it moves out and away from you instead of being stuffed down and stifled and held in. Dirty pain, pretending it's not happening or running away, keeps it in your body. So, the very first body practice that we shared, the one that accompanies the first anchor, the anchor of soothing and settling, the accompanying embodied practice was and is, so keep doing it, to lie down on your side and then curl up into the fetal position and then stretch out. And it's suggested that we do this once or twice a day. Last week we shared a poem which Patty had written about that practice, which is pretty awesome. I suggest you take a listen and take a look at it. She wrote about curling up like a baby in God's presence. And you know, the first time I did this body practice, I did have the idea of a fetus in my mind. The instructions are to curl up into a fetal position. So I laid down on my side and I curled up tight, expecting a wonderful and safe womb-like experience. I expected to feel, you know, like content and connected, maybe even some rocking with the embryonic fluid. And that's not what happened at all. Instead, I was overwhelmed with discomfort. And the first thing I noticed was this urge or this impulse to move away, to stop doing that, to uncurl. That was my body's behavior, right? Back to the Vimbas. I noticed what my body wanted to do. It didn't want to stay curled up in that position. My body wanted to uncurl, but I stayed anyway. And the longer I stayed there, the more I recognized that for me, this was a protective position, right? Like I was defending myself. And I thought, this is the position someone takes when they're being beaten or kicked. And the longer I stayed there, the more uncomfortable I became. Because I was wondering, what is going on here? Is this some type of a buried memory? Did something happen to me? Now we're into the M's of the Vimbas, right? I'm trying to make meaning of my experience. I was wondering, is this empathy? Am I feeling this on behalf of someone else? Is it imagery? And as I've already said, the whole time I was there, which was probably only, 15, 20 seconds, but the whole time I was there, I wanted out. I wanted to run away. And eventually, I did move away. And I have to say, my favorite practice of that embodied spiritual practice is the uncurling, the stretching out, the relaxing, the centering, the soothing. But here's the thing. Even though I moved away, I'm not running away. I got some work to do there. Something